Hi, friends. Hello, hello, hello. Svava Brooks here. If you're live, so glad that you're here with us. If you're watching the replay, thank you, thank you, thank you for checking in, for checking this out. My name is Svava Brooks. I'm abuse survivor coach, and I love to hang out with and support my fellow survivor thrivers on the healing journey after abuse or trauma as we work our way through my book, one day, one page at a time. Feels like one breath at a time sometimes. Hey, my friend Wanda. So if you're on the Periscope, I'm in broadcast only mode over here. I am running the live stream and the live chat on YouTube. So if you want to hang out with us on YouTube, please head on over and you can Google my name or the name of the book and you will find our live stream there. But like I said, I can't manage too many things or I'll get into trouble. So, but thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. I really, really appreciate you checking out our conversation. So, hey, friends. Hey, Wanda. Hey, Sue. How are you guys doing today? Again, for some of you, this is our second live chat today. What a treat. Thank you, Wanda. You like my top? Right? Not too bad. Right? Trying to rotate some of those clothes, right? Who doesn't have, I don't know, maybe it's just me. Hey, Chrisanne, right? You have these things tucked in your closet. And then some days like, well, what am I wear the same things over and over again. You guys, that you know my closet by now. You know what I wear. You've seen all my choices. So I got to change it up a little bit for you guys. So I'm being silly though. Yes. Blue is also one of my favorite colors. I don't know. Does it bring out the blue in my eyes? Wink, wink. Yes, thank you. Double Svava Tuesday. I know it's a lot to handle, right? But you guys, you're no ordinary people. So and I can't force you guys to be here. You show up. This is all on you, right? But of course, I love to hang out with you. Nothing brings me more joy than heart-to-heart, meaningful connection and conversations about love, light, relationships, right? This struggle, right? The human condition, right? We need a lot of people to support us on this journey, right? So I'm glad I got you guys, that you guys can hold the bucket for me when I just need to get my stuff out. And that's what we do for each other, right? Yes. Love those hearts. Love those hearts and flowers and those roses. Thank you, Wanda. Thank you. Thank you, my friends. So have we recovered from our meditation earlier? Felt so bad that you missed us live this morning, Chrisanne. You're talking to someone who messes the time zones up all the time. It's, it wasn't until I got like the world clock on my phone that I had to be really meticulous, really double, triple checking. Okay, it's 8 o'clock here. What's the time on the East Coast and or in Iceland, where I do some of my connection with people, right? Hey, Karen. Hey, Karen. Good to see you. Karen is on the Periscope. Good to see you, friend. So, but I'm glad we recorded it. And I have uploaded the video recording in the Facebook group already. Excuse me. And my lovely assistant, my daughter, actually just sent me back just the audio of the meditation piece. So I'm gonna upload that when we're done here. So it was easier to ask someone else to do it than to try to do it myself. Technology, right? So anyways, so are we ready to dig in, my friends? I know somebody's rolling their eyes at me when I ask this silly question. I know, Chrisanne, I'm sure you were mad, but be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with yourself. So today we are on, it's day 43 already, right? But who's counting? Who is counting? But today, let's see, we are talking about how important it is for us to decide to create space between ourselves and people in our life, right? That we, as we heal and restore, we maybe recognize, wait a minute, these people made me feel crazy. They know all the buttons. They know how to push those buttons, right? Or they're not supportive of our healing journey. They don't like that we're changing. They don't like that we're starting to speak the truth, right? They don't like that we're starting to set boundaries and say, nope, that doesn't work for me anymore. I'm going to take care of me first, right? Or I'm not just going to do everything for you. I'm going to start tending to my needs too, right? So, deciding to create space between yourself and the people in your life that you finally realize are maybe even toxic, abusive, or unsupportive, it is hard. It is really hard. And that's why I'm so glad you guys, if you haven't already, please remember, surround yourself with loving, caring support system before we cut off people, right? Because we do need people. We do need people. We can't deny that human need, right? We do need people. But like with all aspects of healing, right, the right path isn't always the easiest, not the easy path. It's time for you to choose you, because you are the only person that we owe anything to, right? We don't owe our life, right? Or our soul or our energy or our goodwill to other people, right? You owe it to yourself to walk away from those that do not love you the right way, right? So you'll recover faster when you stop seeking validation from the wrong people, abusive, unsupportive. If the wrong people are your family, then it might be time to divorce them, right? Yes, you heard me right? We divorce our family members. I've shared this with you guys. Yes, it was probably one of the hardest things that I did, and I can look back, and it was 2004, 2003. No, it was sooner. That was 10 years before that, where I had to cut my mom out of my life for 5 years. I cut my half siblings out of my life for about 15 years. And yeah, it was hard, but it was like every time I got on the phone with them, and I would get off the phone and then interact with my husband, and I would be doubting and questioning everything, even though I'd been on the healing journey for about 10 years. And I'm like, why do they make me feel crazy? It makes me feel guilty that I'm finally speaking up for myself, right? And that's what I was reflecting on. I gave a talk, my first presentation, my survivor kind of testimony in 2004 in Iceland, when I moved my family back there. And I named the presentation, basically, I led with, I had to choose me, right? What was killing me or hurting me and what I was suffering from wasn't the abuse anymore. That long since was over, right? But I was still carrying the secrets, right? Keeping the silence for other people's secrets, carrying their shame, right? Afraid that if I spoke up, right? So I had to choose me. And for us, right? when we grow up in households, when we aren't honored, recognized, nurtured, right? And our life is dependent on the people that did not protect us. We are resilient as children, right? Then it becomes life and death, and that is the situation or the feeling we carry with us, right? In our biology, in our nervous system, in our body, into adulthood, until we get intentional about understanding why and how. And yes, sometimes we have to walk away. And I'm never going to say that that's an easy choice, but it's as hard as it is in the moment, in the long run. Yes, Sue, I hear you. For me, she says, for me, the divorce was literal. Yeah, I hear you. So the 2 questions here, let's see. Healing is the process of identifying your negative beliefs and exchanging them for new, positive, empowering beliefs, right? That's hard to do when our family keeps feeding back to us our old negative beliefs about ourselves and the world, right? So going back to the people who refuse to validate your truth only reinforces those negative beliefs. The 2 questions today: how does the thought of divorcing your abusive family and walking away from them feel? And why is it so important for you to seek validation from the wrong people, right? And again, it's that deep longing that our inner child, that little girl inside of me, like wanting them to love me, wanting them to see me, wanting them to understand me, because I belong to them. I belong to this family, right? They were my tribe for a long time. I was hardwired into their network, right? Our family, our culture, our values, our beliefs. Yes. Hey, Nora. I didn't see you, friend. So glad you're here. Yes. Those are tough questions. They are. And again, you answer these questions. It's always optional. If you're like, nope, not today, too much, not ready to go there, honor where you're at, honor your truth and your timing, right? The healing journey, as we know, isn't just kind of a straight line, just one thing after another, right? This chapter and then this chapter, right? It can feel like all over the place. I hear you, Nora. I hear you, my friend, but I am so glad. And that's it. Some days the best I'm going to do today is just to show up. I'm going to be here. This body is present, and inside I'm doing my best to just self-regulate and take care of myself, right? And to remind you on that, right, use all the tools that you may have in your belt on how to stay grounded, right? Do your best to take care of yourself. Or if you need to choose to come back and listen to the recording later, that's okay too. That's okay too. So, right, remember to either do some tapping, right? Remind yourself that whatever you're feeling in your body, our memories are activated and stored in that part of our brain that doesn't remember, like doesn't have a sense of time, right? So often it feels like it's happening right here, right now, even though it happened in the past. So a little self-compassion, a little bit of warmth, feel your feet on the ground or feel your back on the chair or where you're sitting, or, do some orient, look around, stretch your neck. Like I showed you guys earlier, I have my favorite essential oil, usually close by. This one is Joy. Love, love, love that one. So, or do some butterfly tapping. So a little bit of self-care while we're sitting here together. Awesome. So you guys beautifully, courageously shared your comments here in the Facebook group. And if anybody's watching, we have a closed Facebook group where our members will share their journal entry. And then from that, right, we see, oh my goodness, I'm not alone. I thought I was the only one with these thoughts and these feelings. And then we give each other feedback, encouragement, and support, right? And that's half of it, like we talked about this morning. It's just to name the truth, speak the truth, honor your feelings, honor your words, your truth, right? That's it. So let's see here. So Sue posted and shared with us, gave me permission to share. She says here, getting away from abusive family happened for me many years ago, and it was pretty much forced on me, or I'd probably not have had the strength to do it, or maybe even the understanding that it was possible. Well, I have to say, my friend, I'm sorry, right? All that you had to go through to get away, right? But I am now glad, right, that you got out of that. Yeah, I'm so sorry to hear about that, toxic situation that you were in. She goes on to say, and it was only when I was out of that situation that I began slowly to see it for what it was. And it's taken nearly 20 years for me to comprehend that it wasn't all my fault, that I wasn't responsible for everything, that I'm not broken, and I'm not a bad person. And that feels so good. That's beautiful, Sue. That is so beautiful. And I hear you, my friend. It took me a long, 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 long time, right, to slowly start to see it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. And it wasn't my fault, right? And I needed to be reminded of that. And it's okay that you need to be reminded of that so many times, because you have propped up your whole world around this identity, this belief, this world view where, right? I don't know about you, but for me, it was like most things were my fault, right? So all of a sudden to slowly start to take a peek out into the world and start to show up differently and to recognize things may happen out here and they have nothing to do with me, right? So yes, you are not responsible, right? And that you are not broken. Exactly, you are not broken, my friend. Most of us here, yes, everything was my fault, she's saying here, Sue. Yes. Anybody else feel that way, my friends? Right? Anything went wrong? Oh my gosh, that was me. That was my fault. I must have messed this up. Right? And that's the thing, right? We are coping, our survival. It was all about just defending and protecting. Yes, exactly. You had to fix it. You had to fix it, right? In your brain, you tapped into the story. See, here I am. I made a mistake. Something happened. It was my fault. I have to fix it. And if I can't fix it, and if I can't make it perfect, right, I'm in so much trouble. And it was just like, you can't win. So now that you're seeing, you're not broken. You're a textbook example of an adult who grew up, right, without love and support and nurturing, right, compassion, kindness, someone lovingly support your development through each stages, recognizing that making mistakes is like the most important part of life. right? I'm still learning that one. Not for my kids anymore, but me, right? I still like, okay, I have to do this. I have to do this right. It's like, wait a minute. Why is that high standard just for you? It's like the bar is always out of reach. Mistakes were a disaster. Yes, exactly. Right? Because if we couldn't do it right, if we couldn't paint the perfect picture, then people would find out. Right? So I'm so glad that you are tapping into, and like you said, it feels so good to now know that you are not broken and that you're not a bad person. Oh no, my friend, you are not a bad person. And what a relief. You're not responsible for the whole world. Right? Right? So, yeah. So thank you, Sue. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you for your courageous share. I really, really appreciate that. So I'm going to scroll down here. I see Wanda gave me permission to share. Chris-Ann, did you give me permission to share? Yes, I see you, Sue. Chris, can you just give me a thumbs up if I can share? Let's see here. And Wanda shares with us, I think, thank you, Chris-Ann. Wanda says, I think the hardest thing for me to admit is that my daughter can be very toxic. And that hurts deeply because I interpret that as I raised her. So if she is self-absorbed, it's my doing. The thought of her not being in my life is more painful than putting up with her negativity. Still trying to figure out how to set boundaries when it comes to her. Oof, I hear you, my friend. I hear you. Yeah, that could be a whole nother conversation, right? Parenting and as survivors. And yes, even though our children are grown up, right? Like, what can we still do just to work on forgiving ourselves? Yes, as you can see, my friend Wanda, you are not alone, right? You are not alone with this, right? So, and what I celebrate each and every one of you for, right, is that whatever it is that our children are dealing with, being born to, through us, right, we did the best we could, right? And we are still here, healing and growing and doing our best to take responsibility for our lives today, like, our feelings and our expressions and our response to what's happening out here. And the more we do that, I am a firm believer that we then also free our kids up from some of that, right? Like they say, a lot of this trauma is multi-generational. Yes, yes. And the same thing is, right? It's like the trauma that we were born into this world with wasn't just our own, right? I mean, I can count back 3 generations that I'm aware of where there was trauma, right? So, yes, Sue, right? Forgiving myself for my parenting was one of the toughest things I've done recently. Yes, yes, Sue, I hear you. I've had to do that too, right? To forgive myself. I did the best I could, right? And I'm still here. And the forgiving, right, is an active process, right? As we see things out in the world, as we see our kids taking on the world, right? I did the best I could. I'm still here, and I'm gonna, if they want support going forward, we can work through it, but I'm also loving and firm, right? I can't fix that. I can only fix what's over here. Wanda goes on to say, I guess I feel if your own child doesn't love you, then how can you expect anyone else to? So I put up with a lot more than I should from her, even defending her to my son when he is trying to take up for me, telling her she's wrong. I hear you, my friend. I hear you. I hear you. And that's the I think the tricky part about parenting, right? Is that loving but firm, right? It's tricky. It's tricky. So, but we know you love her, and I know she loves you, right? But it's to navigate the challenging exchanges, right? It's like, I love you, but you cannot speak to me this way. Like, I love you, but this is my boundary, right? And I have to say, there were 2 courses that I went through as my kids became older. And I still, actually, the blog I wrote today, my friends, that you saw, some of the pieces in that blog post came from the parenting classes that I went to, where I learned about connection before correction, right? When I learned to, how can I connect with them without, correcting or judging or bossing them or trying to parent them while they're, when they're too old for me to parent. But because it was also helpful for me to understand the missing pieces that I had and why things were challenging between me and my children, because I didn't know. No one showed me how to navigate some of these challenging conversations. So, and the other thing that I really appreciate about one of those other parenting classes or programs that I went through is that it's never too late to reparent, right? We get to parent ourselves, and we can also do some inner work around, even though our kids are adults, we can kind of work through our own process about what we perhaps would have done differently if we would have known what we know now. I hear you, Wanda. I hear you. You say here, she learned how to not express her emotions from my actions. So it's hard when we both shut down when things get tough. Yes, I hear you. I hear you. And let me just say that one of the hardest things, especially in the beginning, was for me to go to especially my adult daughters, where I went and, I did apologize for the things that I've now learned that was their birthright, and, they needed from me, and I couldn't give it to them. I did not know. I wasn't connected to my body. I wasn't connected to my heart. I didn't know what it felt like to give warmth and love and encouragement and to be present with them, really, because I was just checked out, right? So, going and communicating to them about it, but it was powerful. And, and at the same time, it didn't, give them permission then to dump on me, right? Or to be, to hate me for it or whatever, or, take whatever hurt they had about it on me. But I learned how to sit and listen to, their challenges and what was upsetting to them. But there was this fine line. I'm willing to sit and listen to you talk about some of the things that happened in your childhood. But if it started to go into blame for where things are today, that's where I would say, listen, I know I couldn't do this for you back here, but I know I'm a different mom today, and I can't go back and fix that. I can't go back and show you how to change that habit or that belief about yourself. But I will encourage you and support you to get the help that you need. And I'm always willing to listen to you talk about your hurt and your feelings, but it's not helpful or healthy for you to dump or blame, right? Or try to manipulate because of your hurt. That doesn't help anything or anyone. So I hear you, my friends. I hear you. It's a tough one. It's a tough one. So, but thank you, my friend Wanda, for sharing that. And I know your daughter and your kids, for all the parents listening to this, is that your kids are learning from you, whether they're in your close circle of, connection, they are benefiting from the work that you are doing. And, when we start showing up differently in the world, their perception of us slowly changes, right? So thank you, Wanda. Thank you, friend. Right? And again, you're not a bad person, right? You're not a bad mom, right? Again, be gentle and kind to yourself. You are a fierce mom, and we love our babies, right? And it hurts us that what was taken from us was the ability to be there for our kids, right? And that was the rage that I had to heal and grieve and express. It wasn't about my kids. It was about what I had carried forward, what was done to me and how I lived out of it. So I know I'm trying to simplify something that is very, very deep and painful. So, but I hope this is meaningful and supportive. Here we go, Chris Ann. Let's see, my computer is doing something weird right now. Hold on. Okay. I hear you, Nora, right? That was one of the reasons I didn't have children. I hear you, my friend. Yeah, actually for a long while, I didn't think I was going to have kids. But, right? I hear you, and you're not alone. I talk to a lot of survivors that have mixed feelings, right, about having children because of what happened to them. So I understand. But I know you, my friend Nora, you have certainly given your heart and love to countless children. So I'm grateful for that. Sue said, yeah, didn't even have that awareness. Yep, I hear you, Sue. I hear you. I knew as a young adult that I did not want to have kids. When most of my friends were starting to have kids, nope, I was not interested. And then I met my guy, and there it was. All of a sudden. So let's see here. Chris Ann shares with us, I walked out at 17 after I found out that my father was in prison for rape twice. For some reason, Chris Ann, thank you for your courage, for sharing this with us. For some reason, it gave me the strength to crawl out of the window and leave. I've never looked back. Yes, I have longed deeply for a mother and a father, but I have never sought that out in them. I speak to my brother, one uncle, and a few cousins. That is it. I cannot stand any of them. I know they are sick in their own ways, but will never accept them into my life. The toxicity is unreal, and I cannot have any of that in my life. Hugs, my friend. Yes. I am sending you love, my friend. I am so, so sorry, right? Just thinking about you as a sweet, sweet 7-year-old, right? Having to, yes, it was probably a good thing that you got out of there, right? Toxic home. But yes, what I also tapped into in my heart was that longing for your birthright, right? A mother to love and to nurture and cherish you, and a father to protect you and keep you safe, right? I'm so, so sorry, my friend. I'm so, so sorry. But I am so glad that you are here and that you're on this journey and that you are learning to hold those little girls, right, that live inside of you, holding them tight and close to your heart, right? Finding a way for them to see they were not bad. It wasn't their fault. Not their fault. Never. Right? And you're doing a beautiful job protecting them, right? And standing up for them. Sending you love, my friends. And just tapping into also, Chrisanne, you give so much love, my friend, to so many people. And sometimes it amazes me. And I'm also thinking about you, my friend Nora, but this could go for all of you guys, right? Is that, you guys have me in tears. Where do we pull out this capacity to love and support others, right? Hey, LD, right? You give so much, right? You give so much. And I'm so, so grateful for you, Chrisanne. Right? Yep. Thank you, Nora. Thank you for validating that. Exactly. Right? Exactly. Right? Yeah. Right? Chrisanne, it is amazing. But again, thank you, Nora, right? Like you said, she says, I give because I didn't get, and I don't want others to be without. I get that. I get that, right? We know that lonely place, that sad place of feeling so alone in the world. Yes. Yeah, exactly. I agree, Sue. And my friends, what we are learning here now on this journey, right? Kicking and screaming, right? Some of us kicking and screaming. It is time that we learn to love us, ourselves. I hear you. I hear you. Well, there's a few different ways we could explore that, but I don't think today. So, but I just want to say we are so grateful for you, Chrisanne, and I want to say thank you for all the love that you give in this world to others. And I'm so glad that you are here now. Exactly. And that you are here now and learning to love you, to what it really feels like to love Chrisanne, right? To give her the love that she deserves. Your birthright. Yep, you're welcome. You're welcome. And that goes for all you guys, right? That goes for all you guys. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So thank you for jumping in there. And I loved your answer today, LD. Shortest answer ever. It feels amazing, right? It feels amazing. How does the thought of divorcing your family and walking away from them feel? I just love you guys so much, right? It's, we go from crying 1 minute to laughing out belly laughs the next. It's so important. It's so important, right? That we can also tap into that, right? I guess we wouldn't care if we didn't love. Yep. Yes, life-giving. Wait until April. Yes. It's going to be lots of hugs, lots of love. We're going to have regular hug breaks. There's going to be regular dancing breaks. There's going to be, I was thinking about this morning. I'm like, oh my goodness, there's so much we need to do together, right? And maybe we'll just sit in a pile together, just holding each other, right? Just holding each other, whoever needs to be held and sung to and cherished, right? Dancing breaks, right, Sue? You betcha. There's going to be dancing, right? We got all our playlists going. It's going to be amazing. And don't forget the trees. We'll be dancing with the trees, Nora, right? Dancing around the trees. T is a cute little troll movie. They set their clocks and hug every 30 minutes. There you go. Those are my people, trolls. They must be from Iceland or somewhere. I'm just joking. Yes, you're up for hugs. Yes, yes. So every 30 minutes, we'll be setting our alarm to stand up and to give each other hugs. Oh, now if the trees dance, then I'll hug. Okay. Someone has to bring a tree costume and to be dancing as a tree so we can get Nora, Wanda to hug a tree. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, my friends, just check in. Want to make sure that I got everybody, right? That I got everybody's post. I feel so bad on the days where I miss. Enough tequila shots. The trees will be dancing. You might be right about that. Right, Nora? I think when I was hugging that tree on the river walk, that the tree was dancing or hugging back at least. I keep telling my kids, it's like, what a mistake that was, right? Right? No, meaning like I shouldn't have told you guys that I've had 2 margaritas and there I am hugging a tree. No, it wasn't 2, it was just 1. It only took 2 margaritas. I thought you were on my side, friends. I told you, Nora, what happens at the river stays at the river. My eyes looked a little bit glazy. All right, so I'll know next time to stay far enough away from you guys in terms of you can't see. Oh my goodness, I'm just thinking about it and we're going to have a blast. Yes, right, Nora? Exactly, exactly. So, oh my goodness, just love and adore you, my friends. Well, it's been a long day, right? Twice in one day. It's been awesome. It's been awesome to see you guys, hang out with you twice today. So be gentle with yourselves. And of course, I pulled another card. We got the hero card this morning. And I could have used it again, but I love these cards. So I pulled another card for us. One day, she knew Lots of hotel talk going on. Good. Everybody's booking their rooms. One day she knew she must follow her heart. You're welcome. Me too, Christiane. I'm so glad that you're here with us, that you caught us here live this time, right? And I know maybe it was confusing because the first of our 2 Zoom meetings per month, the first one is 8 o'clock in the morning, my time, right? And then the second one is at noon, my time. So these are 2 different times. So that's probably what confused you. I was just thinking about it. So I'm not helping you guys by having 2 different time zones. So, but thank you, friends. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. Thank you for your courageous, beautiful shares. And as always, thank you. I'm seeing, a handful of thumbs up. I appreciate that. And as always, if this moved you, please write a comment or, anything below the video, or remember if you're watching the replay to subscribe, all that good stuff. So, but thank you, friends. Thanks again for being here. And I will see you, I think we're going to be here on Valentine's Day, on Thursday. Isn't that Valentine's Day? Awesome. Good night, everybody. Night, night. Love you all.